Well, yesterday, Sam Darnold was traded from the New York Jets to the Carolina Panthers. And when I saw that, I knew I had to make a video. Most of you guys already know that I am a big Jets fan, but before I was a Jets fan, I was a Sam Darnold fan because before that, I was a USC fan. I mean, Sam Darnold is the reason why I went to become a New York Jets fan. Basically, I've been a USC football fan my whole life. And as I was kind of growing up and I finally started to look more into football, Sam Darnold was the USC quarterback at the time, led him to the Rose Bowl. That next season, I actually got to meet him outside of the Cal Stadium after they played Cal. Yeah, I'll put up a picture. Forgive how terrible I look. That was a while ago. But I was able to meet Sam Darnold, and ever since then, he's been my absolute favorite football player. And so I said, I wasn't a huge fan of any NFL team. So I said, wherever Sam Darnold's drafted, I'm going to be their fan. Turns out he was drafted by the New York Jets. And so, now I'm cursed as a New York Jets fan, and he's off the team. He's all the way out in Carolina. But in this video, I'm going to break down what I think about the trade, break down the details of it, the grades, what I think for both sides. It's obviously a very personal trade to me. So I just felt like I need to come on to the video. You guys know I'm a big Sam Darnold fan. I had to talk about it, but I guess let's get into it. Well, I pulled up the ESPN Plus article right here on my iPad. I think you guys have probably already heard the details, but I'm going to go over it. Just to go over it, Sam Darnold traded from the New York Jets to the Carolina Panthers. Carolina deals over a 6th-round pick this year and a 2nd and a 4th-round pick in 2022, which will be next year's draft. And most people will complain, I think, that the Jets didn't get more draft capital from this year, but they got to realize the Jets have 10 picks now in this draft. And so, getting the 2nd rounder and the 4th rounder next year instead of this year, I honestly think is a very good move. And I think it's smart by Joe Douglas because they've built up enough capital this year where they don't need to go after all of the picks this year, get some picks next year too. In the next 2 years, the Jets have 7 picks inside the top 2 rounds. And that's ridiculous. And so they're building up that draft capital. But getting more into the trade, I mean, you guys already know about Sam Darnold. He hasn't been the most successful quarterback in the world, but think about his situation that he's been in with the New York Jets. Obviously, he had Todd Bowles and then Adam Gase as his 2 head coaches, which they did not help him out too much. His weapons, he had Robbie Anderson for a year. We'll get into him a little bit later. But other than that, I mean, Le'Veon Bell was terrible with the Jets. He's had Frank Gore, Jeff Smith. I mean, I'm trying to think. Chris Hogan, Braxton Berrios, Denzel Mims he was a rookie last year and he was okay, but like Jamison Crowder has been the best weapon that Sam Darnold's had, and he wouldn't even be a top 3 weapon on this Panthers team, which is why this trade. Okay, I'm gonna get into what I think. This trade makes me so happy for both sides because I'm still a Jets fan and I'm also still a Sam Darnold fan. So it makes me happy for both sides. Starting with the Jets, they got an above decent haul back for Sam Darnold. Getting a 2nd-round pick, even though it's next year, that's actually, in my opinion, that's a great move because that's basically what the Colts, or not the Colts, the Eagles got for Carson Wentz this year, but they just get it next year. And so I know the Colts one has an ability to become a 1st-round pick, but the Jets getting a 2nd, a 4th, and a 6th this year is a great haul for a quarterback that everyone knew needed to be moved. And really, it seemed like the market was dwindling for Darnold, but then at the last moment, they're able to get a very good haul back for him. And I think that's just a great move. They're going to go with Zach Wilson, I think, at pick 2. And so this move needed to happen. And the fact they were still able to get some great picks out of it, I think it's a great move by Joe Douglas. He has absolutely decimated the Jets roster that Mike McCagnon built, trading off Leonard Williams. He traded off Jamal Adams, now traded off Sam Darnold, and, let alone all the other players that have moved. But just an excellent job by Joe Douglas to get some good picks for a quarterback that everyone knew needed to be moved. But on the other side of it, I'm still a Sam Darnold fan, and I'm very happy for him because, with the Jets, he was absolutely just denied any sort of offensive talent or coaching talent. And so going to Carolina is the perfect place to do that. It's one of the best quarterback situations in the entire league. He's going to be throwing to DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and maybe even Kyle Pitts or another receiver in the draft, let alone the fact that he has Christian McCaffrey as his running back. I mean, that's a great move. But I think the most important thing that a lot of people are underrating are the coaches that he is going to be with this year. Obviously, Matt Rule and Joe Brady are the two big guys. Matt Rule, as the head coach out of Baylor, a rookie head coach last year, proved that there was really something special with him and he could turn this Panthers team around. But Joe Brady, he's the big one. The LSU offensive coordinator turned into the Panthers offensive coordinator. And most of the times when those young coaches come in, they want to tie themselves to a young quarterback. And the Panthers didn't have a chance to do that last year, really. And this year, everyone thought maybe they could trade up in the draft. But the fact that they went and they saw Sam Darnold and they said, let's tie ourselves to him. And they even picked up his fifth-year option. I think Joe Brady is one of the best offensive coordinators in the league already. And I think that if he's confident in Sam Darnold's ability and if he's able to turn around Sam Darnold, I think that's just a great move. And I feel really great for Darnold being able to be with these weapons, these coaches, be on that Panthers in that tremendous quarterback situation. And I really think that he doesn't have to be tremendous for them to be good, but even if he's like good or above average or great, this Panthers team could really be something special. He's been working out with Christian McCaffrey for a while now. He's obviously thrown to Robbie Anderson in the past. He was kind of they were the big threat with the Jets, is just him and Robbie Anderson. So that chemistry is already there. And I think that I saw the video today where Sam Darnold walks into his house and he's smiling and really, as much as I'm a fan of him and he's a great guy, he never smiled with the Jets. Like really, he never smiled. He always said, I'm here and I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do all this, but he never really smiled. And right as he finds out he's traded to the Panthers, walks into his house, he's smiling. He's like saying, let's go. He's putting on the hat. He's happy. And I think that he really needed a change of scenery. Carolina is going to give him that. And not only is it a change of scenery that was very needed, it's one of the best changes of scenery that he could possibly go to in the league. Up and coming team. I mean, the Panthers, they're up and coming, but their division is a little bit hard. But I mean, Anish and I have talked about it all offseason. They've got all the great players we talked about on the offense, a pretty good offensive line. And then on defense, so many young players. If Derek Brown works out on the interior, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with for years. Jeremy Chin was another great rookie last year. Dante Jackson's a speedy corner that just needs to take that next step. And they still have a lot of good draft capital to pick more places, on the defense or at tight end or another wide receiver or on the offensive line. So I think that just the Panthers, they're really moving in the right direction. And we talked all offseason about, they might get Deshaun Watson. They might trade up for Justin Fields. So I know Anish, we'll talk about this in the podcast episode, but I know people are going to be disappointed that, Sam Darnold is the option they sat with, but I don't know, something about it makes me happy. Him being with Carolina, I still believe in him, obviously. I think he can do well in Carolina. And he's not going to be a Deshaun Watson. I don't think he's Deshaun Watson. And Justin Fields will probably end up being better. I really think you're going to see a better Sam Darnold on Carolina than you saw with the Jets because, like I mentioned before, he just didn't seem happy with the Jets. They didn't really do anything for him. They drafted Mekhi Becton and they tried to sign Le'Veon Bell, but just the Jets, they're just a dumpster fire of a franchise. And I know that kind of sucks to say because I'm a fan, but I just think it wasn't going to work out with Sam Darnold. And I think that both sides really needed a change of pace. So the Jets are going to get Zach Wilson. Sam Darnold's going to get the Panthers. It makes me really happy as a Jets fan. It makes me really happy as a Sam Darnold fan. It's sad to see him go. It's sad that, these jerseys over here are kind of useless now. But just the fact that these two parted ways and it seems like a good move for both of them makes me really happy. But I want to know what you guys think down in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about this trade for the Jets, for the Panthers. I want to know what you guys think. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button too. It really helps if you show your support that way. You can check in the description for other videos you might enjoy or for some of our links. Also, the link to the podcast that I mentioned earlier where you'll find us talk about that breaking news more often. And we break it down, all of us together on a podcast every week. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Go Jets still. And now, I'm going to have to root for the Panthers too. It's good that it's an AFC team and an NFC team. But anyways, let me know down in the comment section. Leave a like and a subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.